छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समीन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं शरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य शंकरादिगुरुभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः तेषां सर्वेषां गुरूणां देवतानां श्रुतिमातु परब्रह्मणः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं समस्तसाधकभक्तधर्मसंस्थापकानां दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्यशङ्करभाष्यसमेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धारिते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावेत तद्वक्तारमावेत आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली अष्टमोऽनुभागः ॐ भीषास्माद्वातः पवते भीषोदेति सूर्यः भीषास्मादग्निश्चेन्द्रश्च मृत्युर्धावति पञ्चम इति सैषानन्दस्य मीमांसा भवते युवा स्यात् साधु युवाध्यायकः आशिष्ठो दृढिष्ठो बलिष्ठः तस्येयं पृथिवी सर्वा वित्तस्य पूर्णा स्यात् सैको मानुष आनन्दः ते शतं मानुष आनन्दाः सैको मनुष्यगन्धर्वाणामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य च कामः तस्य ते शतं मनुष्यगन्धर्वाणामानन्दाः स एको देवगन्धर्वाणामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं देवगन्धर्वाणामानन्दाः स एकः पितॄणां चिरलोकलोकानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं पितॄणां चिरलोकलोकानामानन्दाः स एक आजानजानां देवानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतमाजानजानां देवानामानन्दाः स एकः कर्मदेवानां देवानामानन्दः ये कर्मणा देवानवियन्ते श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं कर्मदेवानां देवानामानन्दाः स एको देवानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं देवानामानन्दाः स एक इन्द्रस्यानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतमिन्द्रस्यानन्दाः स एको बृहस्पतेरानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं बृहस्पतेरानन्दाः स एकः प्रजापतेरानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते शतं प्रजापतेरानन्दाः स एको ब्रह्मणानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवं विद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामते एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामते एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामते एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामते एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Friends, a beautiful topic of how the existence of Brahman has to be convinced in our heart has been developed beautifully in this sixth, seventh Anuvakas. Eighth Anuvaka, the first portion, gave the quotation from Rigveda mantra also to say that the Brahman is existing, so much so forth that it is the fear of that Brahman or the Atman that the world show running phenomenal forces of Vayu, Agni, Indra, Surya, Yama, etc. are all regularly Niyata Rupena they are working, even though they themselves have lot of Shakti and Swatantrata. So this is how our intellects have to be convinced about the existence of that Brahman. In even though that Brahma, the Atma, right now or any time, nor non-perceivable by any general faculties of human beings, nor he has got any Visheshana, nor he is in any of the Vyavahara. So the Bhaya Karana also is Parabrahma, Nirvaya Karana also Parabrahma. And as it was in the earlier seventh Anuvaka towards the end, as long as we maintain the distance from Brahman, the same Brahman becomes the cause of our Bhaya. Bhaya Yukta Jivana is not a life of fulfillment. Wherein if we reach the Nirbhaya Sthiti, that's a true achievement. And Nirbhayata comes when we Abhayam Pratishtam Vindate, discover our oneness with that Brahma Tattva. So this ability from Sthula to the Sukshma and from the Sukshma to the Sukshma to Sukshma, traveling is called spiritual journey. But the Maja which we get in the Sthula, so many lives we are going through, doesn't allow us to conceive or accept or try to enter into the Sukshma. That is why in Yoga Darshana also, Savitarka, we have seen the Sthula Dhyanam, Sthula Vastuampe, then the Vichara Anugata, Sukshma, Ananda Anugata, Asmita Anugata. Though in the gradation of happiness, they are more and more, yet as we discussed yesterday, because the strong vasanas, more than that habits, which are the ones which doesn't allow us to leave this lower happiness for the sake of the higher. So that one thing we have to break. What we are doing by giving up the lower or the stula is we are only gaining the higher and sukshma, which is more greater any day in every aspect. This thing mind doesn't know. Therefore, it clings on to the lower ones only. It is intellect's job to study Shastra and through that get convinced that being subtle is more noble, more rewarding, more blissful Therefore, rise above the gross and enter into the subtle. That intellect should get convinced and then convinced and get convince the mind also, or answer to the mind's various questions and doubts. The mind always says, let us leave 1 hour extra. It is powerful intellect which should say out of its conviction that 1 hour can be used for sadhana. The mind always says, let me only enjoy the things. It's the intellect which should say that when the things are shared, then the other fellows also share, then we with minimum effort get the things double. You understand? Like that, so many places, it is a lack of the strong knowledge in the intellect, because of which what mind says out of habits or vasanas, that alone we do. Here also, identifying the Brahman is the highest of the Ananda, highest of the Bhayarahitya, highest of the Trupti, highest of the Rasaswadana. And yet we go for the lower Vishaya Ananda, Vishaya Rasa only out of ignorance, only out of the power of vasanas, only about the because of the habits, and there's a fear कि वो है कि नहीं पता, नहीं मिलेगा कि नहीं पता. Is it not? That's why the Shruti Mata and Bhashyakara clearly said, Esha hi eva anandayati. Is it not? This Brahman alone is the one, because of whose presence, from the small Pipilika and to the Brahmadeva, in any way when they are getting happiness from that Brahman only. Now, these are the crucial things which we just neglect or miss out. Rather, these are the ones to be deeply pondered, so that the conviction regarding the glory of the Atma Anubhuti is created in our heart. Then only we are ready to sacrifice the lower for the sake of higher. These are the very important places where we have to be very careful. That is where our intelligences are tested, our alertnesses are tested, wherein in the crucial places are the points. Are we able to ponder, understand, and the accept? The crucial places are these ones, where Ananda is coming from Brahman only. Therefore, the Brahma Ananda is greater than every. Therefore, identifying with Brahma, the Ananda, the Trupti, the Rasaswadana, the Bhairahitya, Samsara, Mukti, all of that come. This has to deeply enter into Antakarana through the intellect. Then only the opposite team, which is very powerful, that no, we will live as Jiva only. We are happy with the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha of the world. So these things can be defeated. It's an inner battle between the habitual outward life and newly gained scriptural spiritual knowledge regarding the inner life. Whoever is able to defeat the earlier ones with the new ones, they will be embarking on sadhana with all efforts. And as sadhanas proceed, they themselves know what they have chosen is correct. So here also the same thing. So, Bhishasmadvatah pavate, we have seen. Bhishodeti suryaha, we have seen. Bhishasmad agni cha indrascha. Even mrityuhu dhavati. And all other phenomenal forces, whatever are working, are out of fear of that Paramatma. So, what is the fear there? If the Paramatma withdraws his blessing or power, these will not have the power to execute. So, as we said yesterday, if they discover oneness, that working is out of love. If they have not discovered the oneness, they are working out of fear. In both cases, whether it is out of love or fear, the main point is the proof for the existence of Paramatma. That is what is to be gathered here. So, therefore, they say, Yatah te bhrutyaha iva rajnyaha asmad brahmana bhayena pravartante. Therefore, out of the fear of the king, how the servants work, in the same way, all these Vataha, Agnihi, Indraha, Mrutyuhu, then every one of them are working out of fear. Surya Bhagavan rising, etc. Therefore, Tatcha Bhaya Karanam, that Brahma, again in another way, is Anandam. See the two coins of Brahma Vastu. One side is a Brahma Karan, Abhaya Karanam. when we maintain distance from him. Antaram utapi kurute. Ud aram antaram kurute. But the same Brahman is Ananda Karanam when we identify with him. Having said so, the second portion of the eighth Anuvaka, the Ananda Meemamsa started. And the purpose of the Ananda Meemamsa is to answer our question. Ki, he is the Ananda of the Brahman, he is like our other Anandas in this human life or any of the other worlds where the Ananda is born out of Vishaya Vishayi Samparka. The Vishayi getting Ananda because of the Vishaya. Is that type the Ananda or Swabhavika Brahma Ananda? Because if it is Vishayi, we are already getting it. Why we have to go for Brahman with all these terrible sadhanas? If it is Swabhavika, then knowing Brahman is being Brahman is being blissful. Because the Brahma Swabhava Rupena is Ananda Swarup. Therefore, beautifully it is said, Kim Anandasya Mimamsam. Why there is a Mimamsa of Ananda? Why we have to inquire Vicharana? Kyo kare? Iti uchyate. Kim Ananda Vishaya Vishayi Sambandha Janitaha? Laukika Anandavat. That Ananda is born out of Vishaya Vishayi contact, like the Laukika Ananda, Vishaya Ananda, which already we are getting. Ahosvit or else. Ahosvit means or else. Ki Swabhavikaha. Is it natural? Iti evam esha anandasya mimamsa. This is what is the final thing to be brought out of, understood out of this mimamsa vicharana. Clear? Now comes avatarika. So, in that avatarika also, one para we have seen, very cute. Second one is doubly cute. What is the first paragraph we saw? Tatra laukika anandaha bahya adhyatmika sadhana sampatti nimittaha. The laukika anandas are result of the sadhana sampatti. What are the sadhana sampatti? Ki bahya as well as adhyatmika. So bahya sadhana sampatti is all the gross objects for our enjoyment, other facilities. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Adi in their best form. Bhakya Sampada is this. Second, Adhyatmika Sampada means all our faculties, whether they are Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Antakarana, they are also fully intact. When these two are there, then the Laukika Ananda comes. And here also, the outer facilities as well as inner Adhyatmika Upadhis. The more they are refined or Utkrushta, in that way, the Laukika Ananda also is better and better. Quantitatively, qualitatively. We all know it. So one meal with one dal, very good. But add a sabji, और बढ़िया. उसके साथ में लस्सी भी लगा दो, जलेबी भी लगा दो, पापड़ भी लगा दो. So the more quantity is growing, the variety is growing, there is happiness. Quantity growing sufficiently, there is happiness. But the quality also improve, there is happiness. So too, our indriyas are in a very good position, very healthy. Then also, as the utkrushtata of Vishaya and Vishayi, the Vishaya Ananda or Bahya Ananda also becomes utkrushta. Point one. Second two, sahayaha eshaha nirdishyate Brahma Ananda Anugamartham. Now, this is what is in gradation explained in this Ananda Mimamsa, not to tell that these Anandas are great, therefore go for it. No. Then why the Ananda Mimamsa of Utkarshata in the Ananda of the higher and higher beings is explained by hundredfold multiplication is ki Brahma Ananda Anugamartham. Only to say that the Brahma Ananda is more glorious, greater than all this. No, this caution in the beginning only, hint in the beginning only, the Guru Maharaj, the Shruti Mata, the Bhashyakara is giving so that it is not delayed. This is the beauty of any of the Acharya or the speakers or the communicators. Main thing, let them communicate in the beginning. There need not be any surprise. Then you communicate. Then you summarize it. Like in schools, colleges, how many of the teachers are matured to take first to 4 5 classes to the students, the physics teacher. Beta physics ka arth ye hai. Physics in this way useful to you because of the physical sciences only. The world is sustained or growing. Of that physics, which is infinite ocean, you being in 8th or 9th class, you are taught these aspects of physics. Which teacher tells? Nobody tells because they don't know. So to the chemistry teacher, straight away they take up the chapters and talk, but they don't talk why the chemistry, what's the use of it. So to none of the history teachers, nor even the NCERT or whoever said the history books, have the common sense which history has to be given. And honestly, it should be given. Not like what's happening last 70, 60 years, such a worst of the history, but colored and edited, all that nonsense was given. Is not our great Ramayana, Mahabharata, and sacrifices of great saints, sages, or bhaktas, are they not history? They are not given. But those who destroyed our nation, and that destruction aspect also is not given in the history. Only in a good way, colored way, in such a manner as if they are the ones who built India. In that way, that wretched history is given. That way, it should not be given. The facts have to be given here. So, in this way, आनंदस्य मीमांसा की 1 minute. Okay, huh? Uh, hmm. So the history teacher should say history is for the sake of inspiration that our ancient people have lived in such a beautiful manner that learning from them in the present, we have to talk in the future. We have to build our future. So in this way, every subject teacher should tell what he is telling so that there is no ambiguity in the children. अब पूरा पढ़ा भी दिया लेकिन फिर भी उनको बात समझ में नहीं आया. So it's a wrong way of teaching. So here also our teacher in advance only is telling to establish the glory of Brahma Ananda over everything else, that this gradation of Ananda is put in front of you as the Utkrishtata of the Vishayi, and the Vishaya is growing. Vishaya Utkrishtata growing because of the lot of Punya he is doing, he is getting better at and better lives. Because of the same reason of Punya and Dharma, the better objects also growing, and the Vishayi Sambandha Janita Sukha also becoming Utkrishta. That parampara is told to a great extent. Some 10, 12 things are told. Purpose is not to get caught up in that. Never ever. If that is the case, then that would have not been the Upanishad. When Upanishad comes for the Brahma Vidya teaching, how can it glorify something else other than? So therefore he says, कि saha yaha eshaha nirdishyate. This thing is very specifically the gradation of the increase in the Ananda is indicated. Brahmananda Anugamartham, to understand how great, grand, glorious is the Brahmananda. And that Brahmananda, which is uncountably glorious than this, can be obtained only by the human being in this very life with the same efforts put for these temporary things. Now the choice is yours. Now, this is the honest and perfect way of teaching by the Acharya or the Guru or Shruti Mata. We have to be unbiasedly listening it. And from millions of lives, when we are trying Vishaya Ananda, and we know what comes out of it, one life, why not we try for this Brahma Ananda, where the Vishayi are not there. एक जन्म कोशिश करके देखो या उसको पाने तक कोशिश करो. After gaining it, if you really say that it is not glorious, then the drop this Brahmananda, again go for the Vishayi Laukika Ananda by bringing the Utkarshata in it. Karla? So this is what each one has to think in himself. All these details are not told by the Shruti Mata or the Bhashyakar. They only say, ये ब्रह्मानंद के महिमा को बताने के लिए ये उत्कर्षता आनंद का बताया. Left. We have to think for ourselves. Oh, so many lives I tried Vishayananda. Let me try these 2, 3 lives exclusively Brahmananda. If it is not so glorious, let me go back to the Vishayananda. In this way, when I think, then my intellect can quieten the mind's impressions or its forces to go again for the old Vishayananda. Remember, why mind is habituated to Vishayananda. From how many lives you don't know. So naturally tend towards that. That is why all people, 99.9%, they cannot become spiritual even if they enter only superficially, that also temporarily. Only the rare few, kaschit dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshit. Only kaschit dhiraha. Very rare. Like in us also, whoever are listening, how many of us are truly dedicated for the realization of the self? At the cost of other things. We are only mixing up both of them. We are trying this also, that also. जब कभी विषय नहीं मिलता तब हम क्लास के लिए आते हैं. अब विषय मिल गया तो काय क्लास छोड़ो उसको. This is how it happens, because never we had the Brahma Ananda, ever we are having Vishaya Ananda. That tempts us to go only for that. And that knowledge of the intellect being not so strong, and the mind's habits are so powerful, it takes no time for the mind to defeat the intellect's understanding of let's go for Brahmananda. So this struggle, everybody, you have to go through. Now, saha yaha eshaha nirdishyate brahmanandu ananda anugamartham. Now, last para. Anena hi prasiddhena anandena व्यावृत्त विषय बुद्धिगम्य आनंद अनुगंतुम शक्यते. सो अनेन ही प्रसिद्धेन आनंदेन. ओके. अनेन ही प्रसिद्धेन आनंदेन व्यावृत्त विषय बुद्धिगम्य आनंद अनुगंतुम शक्यते. इज अ वेरी ट्विस्टिंग सटल वे, highly scholarly language Bhagwan Shankara uses sometimes, which becomes difficult for the speaker to explain. The idea is what? Only in the Ananda Meemamsa, which is told in gradation, but in and through all that, it is depending on the Vishaya Vishay Sambandha. After telling the glory as if of them, then the limitation of that also is told, that anyway finally it is Vishaya Vishayi Sambandita. Therefore, if the Vishaya is not convenient, that Ananda will not come. If the Vishayi is not convenient, the Ananda will not come. And if the Vishaya Vishayi both are perfect, if the Samparka is not well, the Ananda will not come. This fault also, dosha also, having shown, then there is a chance to inspire the seekers to go for that Ananda, where it doesn't depend on Vishaya Vishayi Sambandha, which is Swabhavika, and that Ananda at the cost of all the Vishaya Vishayananda, including the highest. A seeker's mind can be guided and diverted towards that. So all grades are put in front. Highest tak. Sayako Brahmana Ananda. Very inspiring if you see. But again, if you see the shortcomings in it, it depends on again Vishaya Vishayi Sambandha. And Vishaya Vishayi are again conditioned, depending on our yajna, upasana, punya. Accordingly, only the Vishayi, the upadis, Vishaya, the objects are given to us. If that were the only thing available, then we would have inspired you. Yeah, try for the jackpot. Oh, Brahmananda. Oh, yeah, Brahmadeva Ananda. Oh, nahi mila na, you can try at least Brahaspati Ananda. Oh, nahi mila, try Ajana Jana Deva Ananda. If there were no greater thing than this, we would have advised you. But when there is another Ananda, where Vishaya Vishaya Sambandha is not required, which is not depend on Vishaya or Vishaya, their Samparka, which is Swabhavika and which is Ananta, and which is your own essential nature, when that is there, without mentioning that, we won't be complete. Therefore, to explain about the glory of Brahmananda, this Meemamsa is said. Then if a person is very serious, very sincere, a listener, will he not make the Taratamya comparison? He will make. He should make also, we need not say. He will make. And in his own making that Taratamya or comparison, he himself, even if slightest, if he has got that head on the shoulders, definitely will think or understand and accept that the Brahmananda is greater than all the Vishavishi Sambandita temporary Ananda. Then what for we have to go? If the availability of both of them is with same efforts, obviously I will go for the Brahmananda. So in that way, व्यावृत्त विषय आनंद व्यक्ति को व्यक्ति को व्यावृत्त विषय आनंद बनाकर ब्रह्म आनंद की तरफ ले जाने के लिए ये मीमांसा बताया. So therefore, two things are told. These glorification gradation is told not for us to get tempted. Secondly, to tell that the Brahmananda is greater. Therefore, choose the Brahmananda by giving up the Vishayananda. That should be main point. Otherwise, you only the Shruti have told us this is 100 times more, this is 100 times more. So we are very tempted. मत ब्लेम करना श्रुति माता को आफ्टर studying the whole Upanishad and going for the Vishaya Ananda and not Brahmananda, saying that आपने तो बताया. So those who directly listen Shruti, they are of the highest cadre, they will not have doubt. But after period, जो शंकराचार्य के बाद आने वाले, उनको तो उसमें temptation लगता है. इसलिए भाष्यकार takes on his head to write the bhashya in which he says the purpose of saying this by Shruti Mata is to glorify the Brahmananda, therefore to choose only Brahmananda at the cost of Vishayananda. The cost of Vishayananda is called as Vyavrutta Vishaya Buddhi Gamyaha. So that Buddhi, who which conviction understood the limitation of this Vishayananda, then which withdraws from it, and same Buddhi which is convinced about the Swabhavik Ananda Yukta Brahma Swarupa, it will go for it. Ananda Anugantum Shakyate. Now here one very subtle thing means what? That Buddhi will be able to convince itself and take me the sadhaka toward that Brahmananda only when crystal clearly two pictures are put in front of us, the contrast ones. है कि नहीं? बुद्धि को ना पहले समझना भी है और समझदारी के अनुसार आगे हमको ले जाना भी है. Right now our buddhi, because it is not given data about the existence of Swabhavika Brahmananda, it is seeking the worldly Vishayananda. And in that it is making gradations. किसी लाइफ में आ जाना जाना, किसी लाइफ में कर्म देवा, किसी लाइफ में मनुष्य गंधर्व, किसी लाइफ में मनुष्य आनंद. It is going on. Now the buddhi is told about the presence of the Brahmananda which is beyond all that. Then this buddhi, because it is given data, and if it little works hard, it will be understanding and accepting the presence of the glorious Brahmananda. After understanding and accepting, it will really take the sadhaka towards it. If the buddhi itself is not convinced of Brahmananda and it is convinced of Vishayananda, and to this buddhi already the mana indriyas which are habitual for the Vishayas, when they पूरा मिल जाते हैं तो बंदा संसारी ही रहेगा ना. You will never become sadhaka. Like if the father also with the children playing the cards and playing the sports and drinking and doing only nonsense, then pura family is satyanash. Out of them, the father should be disciplined and all so that he can control the children. So to the father is buddhi, the children are man and indriyas. And the buddhi should be exposed to the presence of Brahmananda so that it will pull the other also towards it. So that's the meaning of here saying कि अनेन ही प्रसिद्धेन आनंदेन व्यावृत्त विषय बुद्धिगम्यः आनंदः अनुगंतुम शक्यते. Here the anugantum shakyate buddhya means what? The highest grade up to Brahma Devananda is given. Then there is nothing as a Vishay Ananda outside. But this Brahma Ananda, Brahma Devananda, which is highest in Vishay, also is conditioned and limited by Desha Kala Parishrama Adi. Then for that intellect, और कुछ पूछने का नहीं है, विषय में इससे बड़ा और कहीं क्या. Then the buddhi will be told, Vishay Sambandha Rahita, there is one Ananda, Brahma Ananda, which is glorious than this. Will you go for it? Hare, hai kya? Then why not? I'll go for it. That buddhi can be directed towards that when this data is given. So the purpose of giving all this data is to give that conviction in the buddhi to choose Brahma Ananda, Vyavrutta Vishayananda at the cost of the Vishayananda. अनेन ही प्रसिद्धेन आनंदेन व्यावृत्त विषय बुद्धिगम्यः आनंदः अनुगंतुम शक्यते. अनेन ही, by this method only, prasiddhena anandena means that ananda which we were frequently going on, which is very famous for us, in which we are established. What is that? Vishayananda. उस विषयानंद से व्यावृत्ति होकर बुद्धिगम्य आनंद, द आनंद which is not विषय के कारण but बुद्धि के द्वारा मिलने वाला आनंद, that's called a ब्रह्मानंद अनुगंतुम शक्यते. Here बुद्धिगम्य आनंदा means ब्रह्मानंद बुद्धि के साथ समझकर कन्विक्शन होकर बुद्धि नामक विज्ञानमय कोश के में जाकर वहां ढूंढ के पकड़ सकते हैं. That is why it is called as बुद्धिगम्य. Otherwise, Brahmananda is not buddhigamya. So, Brahmananda is buddhigamya, other Anandas are Vishay Sambandha Janya. Here, buddhigamya means what? The Sukshma Buddhi in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, it is available. So, in this way only, the natural way of going for Vishayananda से withdraw होकर the बुद्धि के द्वारा मिलने वाला ब्रह्म आनंद के तरफ an intellect of the sadhaka can be molded. For that purpose, it is given. Therefore, after studying this Brahmananda Meemamsa, if our intellects are convinced for the Brahma Ananda, then the teacher, what he taught, the listener, what he heard, they are fulfilled. After all studies, still if one goes only one notch up in the Vishayananda only, Brahmananda Dimag mein ghusa hi nahi, so the teacher is at fault, student also is not thoroughly listening. Okay? Now, next one, देखिए. Hmm. Hmm. Right. This last para as a avatarika before Yuva Syat Sadhu Yuva Dhyayaka is taken is very Gambhira, very crucial. Though in a poetic manner Shankara Bhagavan gave, but very, very essential, very, very important for our understanding. We will try to explain. Laukikaha api anandaha brahmanandasya eva matra. First, never have any doubt regarding it. Any Laukika Vishayananda, from the Brahmadevananda, yes, to the ordinary Manushananda, all of them are Brahmananda se eva matra. It is a part and parcel of Brahmananda only. Okay? Then what is the way and why this Laukika Vishayananda is coming to us? How the Laukika Vishayananda is coming to us? And why are we going for it? Where is the shortcoming or mistake happening? Inquiry. Like the CBI inquired, then they came to know some human intervention is the cause of this tragic accident. Somebody deliberately did it. Who is he and what is the purpose? They are going to find. It's not a automation problem. It's a somebody deliberately. क्यों किया किसने किया बता नहीं. यहाँ भी इंक्वायरी करो. Why and how? One is going for this Laukika Vishaya Ananda, which is a matra of the Brahmananda only. Answer is this. Very important it is. Listen carefully. He says, Avidyaya tiraskriyamane vijnane. The avidya kama karma में busy होने के कारण we are not giving time for the vijnana regarding Brahman in its glory. That is called as, because of the avidya, this vijnana is tiraskruta. It is rejected. Same thing is medaya pihitaha, as it is said there. Yesterday also we explained. In another of our topics also it came. In our Chandra Rishi is teaching about after the Jiva's expression, not the Jiva after the mother's womb, but पहले ही अहंकार जो चित्चाया से तादात्म्य होकर जीव बनता है, then how through the देह तादात्म्य all the time he is busy in देह उपभोग वस्तु सेकरण, as it is mentioned there. Here also avidya tiraskriyamane vijnane, underline करो. Because of so busily involved in the avidya kama karma chakkar, vidya is tiraskruta vayas. Today's whole country is like that. All education system is doctored like this, doing this job only. The pure moksha giving Brahma Vidya is not a subject in the lakhs of schools and colleges and universities that are there in India. Government run. Even if one or two are there, they're only for the academics sake or professional sake only, not for the true purpose that it should give the moksha. See the pathetic condition of Bharata Mata, which is meant for through Shastra Adhyana moksha, misguided by, carried away by the other world's Bhautikavada and further the scientific development. We are also going in that shoes. Now the government slowly becoming aware, but then अब कब तक ये गवर्नमेंट रहेगा, वो कर पाएगा कि नहीं, आई डोंट नो. Avidya tiraskriyamane vijnane. Is it understood? Avidya means avidya kama karma. Becoming busy in that, the vijnana about the Brahma Astitva and Brahma Ananda Mahima, and it is a giver of moksha, that is being tiraskriyamane. And second side, when the avidya is vidya को विज्ञान को तिरस्कार किया है, उतना ही नहीं, उत्कृष्यमाणायाम च अविद्यायाम. The avidya is predominantly affecting our functioning. Means कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा when we don't know our own essential self or reality. And from that avidya, when the kamanas are coming, even though the kamanas are not fulfilled, they are growing, they are troubling us. Yet in that angle, the thinking is not happening. If not this kamana, another kamana may give me fulfillment. In that way, one is running behind the kamana, sustaining the avidya, not valuing the vidya. And forced by the kamana, one is doing karma. And even the karma phala expected is 100, came 5%. Yet even there is not thinking, stupid fellow, is it 5% is happy and is going for it only again and again. That is the meaning of ki utkrishyamanayam cha avidyaya. Nobody wants to pause and think. यार इतना मेहनत किया, इतना कम फल आया. Karma phala nobody is thinking. And the desires are the cause of all the dukkha, nobody is thinking. I think I am the Jiva Deha, but I am something other than this. Upanishad Rishi say, for that the nobody is going only. This is the meaning of avidya utkrishямane. Utkrishyamanayam cha avidyayam. When the avidya became utkrishta, then क्या हो रहा है इसके कारण? So avidya tiraskriyamane vijnane, then utkrishtyayam cha vidyayam, utkrishyamanayam cha vidyayam. क्या हो रहा है? ब्रह्मा आदि भी. मतलब क्या है? ब्रह्मदेव को भी डाल दिया उसमें. किसमें? He also has done the tiraskara of the vijnana because of avidya, and is avidya also in the utkrishta sthiti. I told you, every Brahmadeva need not be Brahmagnani, Brahma Anubhuta. Every Indra need not be Brahmagnani. Some jivas can be. Like in human beings, there are many doctors, lawyer professions outside. They have realized the self inside. Like Bhagavan, our Gurudev's Guru, Shivananda Garu. Shivananda, he was a Gnani, but still he used to do the treatments. He was a great homeopathy Ayurvedic doctor. Gurudev himself also a great speaker he is, but he's a Brahmagnani also. So you understand, profession is different, realization is different. Realization and profession also can go together. Without realization also profession go on. So Indra and Brahma are professions. They can be the realized also, cannot need not be also. So here the discussion about the unrealized Brahmadeva. Chance is given. See, catch the main point. For that you need to have a very subtle intellect and alert intellect. By this what is saying, whether you become Brahmadeva or Indradeva, that is not primary. Have you realized the Brahman or not? That is primary. If you have realized Brahman as a human being, you are greater than Brahmadeva. If you have not realized Brahman, even if you may become Brahmadeva by your profession or business, still you are bound. This knowledge is to be caught. उसको फिर साइड पे रखो. So now in the discussion of this paragraph, including Brahmadeva or starting from Brahmadeva. What is that? Avidya tiraskriyamane vijnane, then utkrishtamanayam ja avidyayam. What are they doing? Right from Brahmadeva onwards. So, ki brahmadivihi. What are they doing? Karma vashat. Here karma means because of their own earlier impressions, vasanas, tendencies. Yatha vijnanam. As much their intellect goes in understanding about what are the sources of happiness in this objective world, Vishayadi, to get those objects, sadhana sambandha vashat, to procure that Vishayas, what is to be done? In the vasha of that vibhavyamanacha, they are only in that chakkar all the time, loke anavastitaha, laukika sampadyate. So they are by their efforts reaching to those lokas which are not permanent. So Brahmadivihi karmavashat yatha vijnanam विषयादि साधन संबंध वशाच विभाव्यमान च लोके अनवस्थितः लौकिकः संपद्यते. Laukika, you have to add the Ananda. So he is putting everybody, including Brahmadeva, in the category where their avidya is so strong that they never go for the vidya or the Brahmagnana, and the avidya is so utkrishta that this avidya ke karana, in that the vasana is there. According to vasana, in whatever the objects they feel the sukha. To procure that object, they are so busy, and really they put the effort, and definitely they get objects, but all of them are anavastitaha. तो अनवस्थितः लौकिक आनंद संपद्यते. द अनसर्टन टेम्पररी विषय विषय संबंधित आनंद, all of them are getting. See that शंकर भगवान का भाष्य का महिमा. All of us. Therefore, विद्या प्राप्ति के लिए anybody is fit or anybody is can try for it, as it is said. So too getting lost in avidya also is possible for everyone. Therefore, what is the lesson we have to catch from it? Wherever we are, we have to seek Brahma Vidya, not anything else. To convey this only, the Ananda Meemamsa is told. There, the Utkrishta Parakashtame, when it is said, Sayeko Brahmana Anandaha, by that, this Brahmadeva's Ananda is greater than other Anandas, it is told. But it is not said that Brahmadeva Ananda is ultimate. But it also Vishaya Vishaya Sambandhi. It is also the Punya Karma, Yajna Karma Janita. And that is also Anavastita. ब्रह्मदेव का भी रिटायरमेंट हो जाता है. सो लौकिकः अपि आनंदः ब्रह्मानंदस्य एव मात्रा. All लौकिक आनंदास फ्रॉम द ब्रह्मदेव अप टू ह्यूमन बीइंग, all are ब्रह्मानंद की मात्राएं हैं. Then why they are not going for main Brahmananda? Why they are going for these Laukika Vishaya Vishaya Sambandha Ananda? Answer is Avidyaya Tiraskriyamane Vijnane. Their avidya is so strong that the Vijnana which tells about Brahmananda is totally rejected only. It is not brought in the education system. Syllabus ही नहीं है वो. Other than some Mahatmas taking initiative and teaching us Brahma Vidya, if you leave these Mahatmas, or if the Mahatmas go into Gufa, is there anybody who's teaching us Brahma Vidya? The parents, the grandparents, the friends, the relatives, so-called elders of the society, the government, सब मिलकर होलसेल में इन द बिजी स्केड्यूल ऑफ अविद्या काम कर्म तिरस्क्रियमाणे विज्ञाने, दे आर रिजेक्टिंग विज्ञान. हमको नहीं चाहिए वो. वी आर हैप्पी विद आवर विषयास. Then avidya utkrishyamanayam avidyayam, these three things. Okay, brahmadivi, everybody including Brahmadeva. See, karma vasyad means vasana vashat. Yatha vijnanam means as much their knowledge goes in the understanding of what gives happiness. For that vishaya sadhana, उस विषय को पाने के लिए विषय साधना संबंध वशात, they are endowed in doing those only those actions which will give those vishayas which they think that are the givers of happiness according to their vijnana, that is dependent on karma the vasanas. तो वासनाओं के कारण बुद्धि में होने वाला इस विषय को पाने से आनंद मिलेगा, इस निश्चय के कारण उस विषय की प्राप्ति के प्रयत्न में बिजी रहते हुए उस विषय को पाकर वो अनुभव करने के लिए अलग अलग लोकों में जा रहे हैं. बट द वन थिंग इज व्हाट? अनवस्थितः. None of these anandas are avasthita or permanent. This is how laukika ananda they are going for. Simple is what? In them they have vishayas, vasanas. Vasanas are prompting them for this or that object's desire. To get that object, they are working and they are going into that object. And that is also anavasthita, that is gone. And all this called laukika ananda. Then another vasana, another desire. In the bargain, this vijnana about Brahma is tiraskriyamane. It is never attempted it, never going towards that. Our life also, before we were blessed by the Guru Parampara to enter into Upanishadic Vidya, we were also busy like it. Even now also, we have not yet completely convinced at any cost and effort we will achieve Brahma Vidya. For that we are ready to give up everything. अब अवला निर्णय तो नहीं हुआ. This is how Even though the Laukika Ananda, Vishaya Ananda is a matra of the Brahmananda, because of their ignorance, they are preferring for the Laukika Ananda but not for Brahmananda. A question and an answer that way clearly told. It is our own question. Why I am not going for Brahmananda? Because I am not exposed to the presence of Brahmananda to the extent I am inspired by it. Why? Because I am so busy in avidya and avidya kama karma and my vasanas, and I am getting all these as for this or that object and fully engaged in procuring that object. है कि नहीं? सुबह उठ के काफी चाय पीने को मन होता है, लेकिन बैठकर लेट मी फाइंड ब्रह्मानंद, किसको है वो वाला होश जोश? नहीं. After that, let me have breakfast. That ananda is there. Let me study the paper or they see the TV and news. That type of thing is there in our mind. Actually, some breakfast हो गया, अब तो बैठो 4 घंटे ध्यान करो. That's the meaning of every day, every hour of ours is only in the pursuit of Vishyananda. In the force of this, we are doing the tiraskara of the Brahmajnana or Vijnana or Atmajnana. तो पहले तो generally समझे उसको, then particularly in our life also this is what is happening, we must know. Then after knowing it, then what to do? Should we let loose again continuously? No. The tiraskara of the Vijnana should be replaced by Svikara. So too the gush and flow of the Vishaya Prapti Prayatna out of desire and vasanas have to be slowly reduced by trying to live life only on the basis of needs, not on the basis of desires. If this is done, which you and I are doing now, then the Brahma Vidya and Brahma Prapti Mahima सुनने को पहले हमको मौका मिलेगा. And that when we contemplate and truly come to our own understanding conviction, then our track changes. U-turn we take. Instead of going for the Vishayas, we go for Brahmananda. If our efforts are more for the Brahma Prapti than for the worldly, that means what? We have understood the Upanishads. Or the Upanishadic class attending has become fruitful. Has it happened to us? Let us think right now only, आँख बंद करके, कि throughout the day is our pursuit is Brahma Prapti or something else. Something else है मानो, मतलब अभी उपनिषद हमने ढंग से नहीं सुना जैसे सुनना चाहिए. But if it happened मानो, slowly I am reducing my desire for not overnight, everything is not given up, but my predominance is there in me to obtain Brahma Tattva than the world. So therefore I am seeking the calmness, quietness of mind, single pointedness of mind, purity of the heart, subtlety. Then I am just taking a few mantras of Upanishad and contemplating on the self every day. If these things are happening choicefully, repeatedly, deeply, they are the signs of we are convinced of Brahmananda over other Anandas. And that means our study of Upanishads is fulfilling. Starting to fulfill. The final fulfillment is only when we achieve Brahmanubhuti. If that's not happening, still our desire is only for the world. और भी लोगों को है ना मस्करी मार रहे या पटा रहे या वस्तुओं के पीछे जा रहे, मतलब more than the Vijnana, the Ajnana, Avidya, the Vasanas are powerful. They are still working. देखो, then what is to be done? Ultimately एक ही चीज है, मानो स्पिरिचुअलिटी में बात करने का काम करने वाली बात एक ही है, दूसरा नहीं है. That's called विवेक. जब तक विवेक शक्ति जागृत होकर what are the things that are available and which I am doing, if I don't do the viveka, then I will never come to the understanding that what I am doing is wrong and there is something better to be done.